Hello all, so very warm welcome to the course on neural networks for deep learning. So this is under data science course. So here I'll try to cover everything along with Python hands-on. So after a lecture in between there will be hands-on on the same topic. So the playlist might get longer, and what I'll cover, let me just briefly explain it. So I'll start with simple neural network, that is feed forward neural network. Then I'll go with CNNs, their architectures, then RNNs, then LSTMs, GRUs, GPTs, everything I'll cover. So some of you might not know this term, so that's okay. So even I'll cover GPT 2, 3, every paper, attention based mechanism. So this is already uploaded, like I already explained the paper from Google AI based on attention. You can find it on my YouTube channel. So I'll try to cover each and everything in a minute detail. So let's start. Now, deep learning, for basic deep learning thing, we must know what is neuron, because then for a deep neural network the basic important parameter, or you can say the basic building block, is a neuron. So from where the motivation comes from, so you can clearly see here that this is a single neuron that you might know from your school days, that neurons is having some nucleus and dendrites and so on. But at the end, the responsibility of the neuron in our brain is to have some decision based on the inputs. So for instance, let's say I'm walking to the street and I'll see something on the street, I'll take some other way around. So what is happening here? It's like our eyes will take the input, then based on that input it will send to the neuron. And it's not like our brain is having just a single neuron. This is just a single neuron, right? But instead we have a very complex mechanism like this. Here you can see that there is a numerous number of neurons. Even the animation you can see they are interconnected. That is, output of the first one will be input to the second, and so on and so forth, and it will propagate the signal like this. So this is what we'll try, that how mathematically we can form such a artificial decision making complex mechanism, or not complex. Now it's just a single neuron, so it's not complex, but can we make this the same thing artificially? So that is what mankind tried for the first time, and the two scientists that tried this is not the very first neuron that we had, but I just had this neuron architecture here, but it is not the very first neuron that we had. So let's proceed with the very first neuron that we had, and we'll eventually like come to this thing. And this is the neuron that is used nowadays, like along with weights and activation function. So we'll see what all these things are, weights and biases and everything. So let's begin. So before beginning, let's have some motivation that we are using deep learning and neural networks, or you can say AI things, in day to day life, knowingly or unknowingly. So this is like Siri, that Apple, like Cortana, that our assistant that we have, virtual assistant. Then YouTube, the video that you are watching right now, that the recommendation system of YouTube. So it's not like YouTube will uh, give the same video recommendation every time. Every time you will open, based on your research history and everything, it will recommend some videos. Yeah, the same thing it's happening with the Google Images, that if you'll type some keyword on Google Images search, then it will give the images related to that search. So and so on and so forth. Then there is also something, this is some intelligent thing that is made, which can even beat the human in this game. uh, so these are all the things that we are using in a day-to-day life. Now, why deep learning and machine learning nowadays are really buzzword? So previously the data was not enough in terms of quantity, I mean, but now there is a huge quantity of data available, and what neural networks need is just a huge amount of data. Mind my words, a very huge amount of data to train them. We'll see what this training and all is. Yeah. Now ANNs, so I'm just saying artificial neural networks, so also outperforms the ML techniques on some complex problems, and we'll see. So I am also starting the same machine learning course. Okay, so the two playlists I'll simultaneously upload. Yeah, so you can compare after machine learning techniques, that why deep learning is a buzzword. Then also there is an increase in computing power since 1990s. Nowadays we are having even 16 GB of RAM, and even more, like GPUs and everything. So the gaming companies are even having some GPUs, like Nvidia is, they are having their GPUs, and also the processor, gaming processors they are making. So this is what makes deep learning a buzzword nowadays. So this is just a simple neural network, but now this is a deep neural network. So the deep comes here with the number of layers. So what is happen is that this is one single neuron that we just saw. So these are now interconnected like this in a very complex form, just like in our brain. So we try to depict it the same thing that we had in our brain. Yeah, and that's why it's called deep neural network. And sometimes more number of layers can also spoil the party, but it can also give some better results in some classification problems like machine translation, anything. So we'll see all this stuff. Now let's start with a very first neuron. So the very first neuron was given by McCulloch-Pitts. So you can see here that McCulloch-Pitts neuron, these were two scientists or biologists, and they gave a very first neuron. So here the weights were not there. Okay, so just I'll remove it. The weights were not there, just we have inputs, and the inputs were binary inputs. So you can see here that we had binary inputs, that is either 0 or 1. Then it will just do the summation. Yeah, and then based on some threshold, so if this summation is greater than some threshold, we'll decide that yes. So let's say, let me give one example that we are going, let me just cook up some example that let's say we have to decide a movie classification, like decide that whether we'll, not movie classification, whether we'll go for a movie or not. Yeah, movie tonight or not. Yeah, so what can be inputs can be like, just we have to classify here yes or no. 1 is yes, 0 is no, as per our notation. Now the inputs can be, do I have money, yeah, to spend on movie, then how's the weather, then whether it's weekend or not. This all can be the inputs. Yeah, something more if you can think of, like uh, it's weekend, it's weather, then who's the director of the movie, or yeah, who's the actor, lead actor or director. Yeah, so based on that it can also, the things decision can vary. Yeah, so this can be the inputs. Like if we have money, we'll say input is 1, because in MP neuron, I'll say now McCulloch-Pitts sets just MP neuron. So in MP neurons we have just binary inputs, we don't have weights. Okay, so just forgot about this weights here. And so what simply we'll do is that, let's say 3 of the inputs are 1, we have, so our summation will be 1 3, because 3 are 1. So what this block will do is just do the summation, and now we'll decide some threshold. So we have to decide some threshold, like if it's greater than 2, that is from the 4 inputs, 4 features you can say, if 2 are good, we have 4 inputs right here. So if 2 are on, then we'll say 2 or more than 2, then we'll go for a movie. Yeah, because 3 greater than 2, we'll say that yes, y is 1, so we'll go for a movie tonight. Yeah, so movie is on for today. Now, but if just money is one thing, but rest all the things is not 0, that is there's bad weather, there's no weekend, there's no the actor is not your favorite, then the summation will be just 1, and which is less than 2. Yeah, so threshold is something that we have to decide. Yeah, so this is just a simple decision making that we can do. So now let's see, can we make some decision making gates, like logic gates, that AND gate, OR gate, that we already know. Yeah, so let me just quickly go through the thing that I wrote. So it's a very simplest model, then 1 or more binary inputs as I showed you. Then this is also I showed you that it simply activates its output when more than a certain number of inputs are active. So it depends on threshold, that what's the threshold, based on that it will activate. And even this two scientists showed that with such a simplest model we can have some logic that we can make, some boolean function that we can make. Yeah, so we'll see. So let's try to implement AND gate here. So what we'll want in AND gate we want is that when both inputs are 1, then and only then we want our output as 1. So simply we can say that our threshold should be 2. Yeah, because if we have 0 1, then the summation will be 1 only, it won't exceed 2, so output will be 0. Yeah, so this is the truth table of AND gate, and we can simply implement the AND gate based on just a logic thing, that summation, some threshold that we can decide, and then we'll get our desired result. And this is really like amazing thing. Yeah, so let's try to implement some more functions here. So let me just change the slide. Yeah, so we'll implement some more functions, but let's just see the basic thing, that what now it's just given some name to the summation function and the function f that is doing some thresholding. Yeah, so let's say we have 3 input here, and again we have some binary input. So what g will do is that function g will aggregate, or we can say sum all the binary inputs. This I showed you all this thing. And what f will take, f takes a decision based on the threshold value. That's it. So now there is one thing to know, like some new term here. Sorry, excitatory and inhibitory. So let me just explain inhibitory first. Now, as the definition suggests here, that output will be 0 if xi is inhibitory. So when my input xi is inhibitory, output will be 0. So let's say we have one more thing, that money. Yeah, money. I don't have money. Yeah, or you can say, then we can, what we can say, and let's say 1 denotes I don't have money. So irrespective of anything, if I don't have money, I can't go for a movie. Yeah. So then this is called inhibitor input, that it will not fire the neuron. That is, the neuron output will be 0 irrespective of any other inputs, and such an inputs are called inhibitor inputs, and the rest inputs are called excitatory. Yeah, so these are just the new terms. Now mathematically I just wrote that g of x will be summation of all the inputs, and our output is nothing but f of g of x, and it will be 1 when this is the threshold. Okay, I'm just denoting theta with theta, the threshold, and here it won't be equal to, okay, just because we are considering equal to here, and it will be 0 when our threshold, our g of x is less than some threshold. So this is what this function f, or we can say threshold, do, and this is what we get as output, either 1 or 0 based on this thresholding, and that's why it is called threshold logic. Now let's implement some more gates, as I said. So we already implement this AND gate here, and now the important thing here is this thing, the geometrical representation, that what actually MP neurons does. We'll see that. Yeah, but basically here OR gate, because we know that OR gate will fire when any of the input is 1. So whether anyone will be 1, so we'll just have threshold here as 1. But here AND gate we already implemented, the threshold is 2. Now we'll see this thing again, like in couple of slides, maybe 2 slides, we'll see this thing. So I'm just going ahead from this point right now. Now let's implement this thing. This is a very important thing, so please pay attention, that what here I'm trying is to have, so here you can see the star. So star means terms and condition apply, pay attention. So here this is some special case, and you can see here that special case, this is circular. So this is nothing but inhibitory input. So actually what we are implementing here is x1, we are ending with, let's say we have 2 inputs, so let me just write 0001 1011, and this is our output. But what we are doing is, we are doing the AND operation, no doubt, but we are doing with the complement of x2. So let me just write complement of x2 here, that it is, sorry, it will be 1 0 1 0, and let's do the ending of x1 and x2 complement. Okay, ending operation. So what we'll get, this will be 0, this will be also 0, this will be 1, and this will be 0. So you can clearly see that whenever our x2, that is our inhibitory input here, is 1, irrespective of x1, whether it is 1 or 0, doesn't matter, we'll get output as 0. Can you see this? And so the same thing we so how to decide threshold is a very important thing in MP neuron. Yeah, so why I decided threshold as 1, because threshold is decided based on summation, and you can see here, let me just change the color, that, and you can see here that here the summation is x1 x2, we are getting 0. Here summation is 0 plus 1 is 1, here is also 1, and here is 2. Yeah, but when we are getting 1, we are getting 1 when, because we don't care about these 2 cases, because we know that it is inhibitory input, that irrespective of my x1 value, so the summation doesn't matter, whatever is the summation, if x2 is 1, we'll get 0. So what matters is this 2 thing. Yeah, so this 2 thing matters. So what we are getting when x1 is 0, this is summation. Okay, let me just write that this is summation thing, sorry, SUM. Now when x1 is 0 and x2 is 1, we are getting it 0, and this case, when x1 is 1 and x2 is 2, we are getting as 1. So we are getting 1 in one case when x2 is 0. Yeah, so when x2 is 0, we are getting 1 as well when x1 is 1, and that's why to get this output as 1, we need threshold as 1. Yeah, I hope the point is clear. Now it's your turn, that can you implement NOT gate like this? And just write it, the NOT gate here, that this is the input X and this is the output Y. Now what should be the threshold here, that you have to decide. And whether we need inhibitor input or not, that also you have to decide, and just tell me in the comment section. Okay, so I'm proceeding from here, and this is the important thing that you should know. And because here we are implementing inhibitor inputs. Now, so it means that we can implement any boolean function using MP neuron. Is it the case? Let's try to verify it. So now again, the thing that I left in the previous slide. Now let's see the geometrical representation. Again, I'm taking the OR function, and we know that our threshold will be 1 here. So can we say that these are our inputs, x1, 0, 0, then 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1 for 2 input binary case. So what we are getting in terms of OR function, that whenever our x1 and x2 summation is exceeding 1 or is equal to 1, then what we are getting, our output as 1. So this area, that is from the line, this is the line x1, let me just have some new color. Yeah, so this is the line x1 plus x2 equals to 1. So whenever we are in the green area, that is above the area of this x1 plus x2 equals to 1, we are getting our output as 1. And whenever we are below this area, what we are getting, our output as 0. So what actually MP neuron is doing, it just split the input space into two regions. Yeah, and if we have more number of inputs like 3, 4, 5, then 3 will be the cube, like in 3D we'll be having like plane, then hyperplane and so on and so forth. Yeah, but we can visualize 2D, so we are seeing this. So which two regions? Points which lies above and below this line. So can we say that this is the decision making line? Yeah, and the same justification can be made for other boolean functions as well. But still our question remains intact, that can we implement any functions? Let's try to answer this. So what's the summary? Summary is that using MP neuron we can implement boolean functions, but which are linearly separable. Yeah, can you try to implement something like this? Because why linearly separable? Because what we are getting here, we are separating with line only. Yeah, we can't have some decision making something like this, that this is the region in which I'll get output as 1, and this is the region in which I'll output as 0, and also this is the region where I'll get 1, and this is the region where I'll get 0. We can't get this because these are non-linear boundaries, and we can't have non-linear boundaries here, because MP neuron is just giving us because it's the summation, right? So it's basic linear summation that we are doing. We are not having any non-linearity, and based on this summation we are having some threshold, that if this summation is exceeding threshold, we'll decide yes or no. So there is non-linearity here. So let me just frame it other way, that we are having everything linear here. Yeah, there's linearity involved here, so we don't have non-linearity here. And that's why in summary I just wrote it, that using MP neuron we can implement any boolean functions, no doubt, but they should be linearly separable. Yeah, we can't have, so can we do XOR? You can't, because for XOR the boundaries will be non-linear. Actually what I draw in the last slide, this kind of this, yeah, this was XOR thing. Yeah, because what we need in XOR, let me just go back, clear it. Yeah, so what we need for XOR, for 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1, so for 0 0 it will be 0, for 1 0 is 1, this is 1, and this is 0. Yeah, it's called odd ones detector. Yeah, kind for the XOR gate, this is XOR gate. So for 0 0 we'll get 0, for 0 1 we'll get 1, for 1 0 we'll also get 1. So these are the areas where we'll get 1, and these are the areas we'll get 0. Yeah, here we are getting 1s. So this is non-linearly separable thing, and we can't do with MP neuron. So this is the drawback of MP neuron, I can say. Then only binary inputs. So I'm just summarizing everything for MP neuron, that we can only have binary inputs. But what about real inputs? Can we apply? No. For MP neurons, no. But don't worry, we have perceptron coming in the very next slide. Now also we have to decide the threshold. based on our trials. Like these were just simple logic gates, but based on our trials we have to decide. And the same thing that I answered, that can we implement, and we can say no, because it's a nonlinear separability. Yeah, maybe it's a typo here, separability. Just let me know if you have any, like I made the slides, so if you find any mistakes, just let me know. Any suggestions are welcome as well. So don't worry that we have perceptron at our rescue, but we'll see that whether perceptron can also have some drawbacks. Yeah, so we'll see what are the drawbacks of perceptron as well, and that's why the star is here, that terms and conditions apply, that not perceptron is not like it will solve all the things that is not solved by MP neuron. So this is I'll not start perceptron in this lecture. So you can see that perceptron, it was by Frank Rosenblatt in 1958. So here, what's the difference? Firstly, let me just try to give the brief hint of perceptron, and I'll wrap up this lecture. So it's more general model than perceptron. Here inputs are real. It's not necessary that we give binary inputs. You can either give, but you can give the real inputs as well. Then moreover, the inputs are weighted. So what does it mean that the inputs are weighted? It means that, again the same example, that we are going for a movie or not. So what we'll do is that we'll weight more to weather, like weather is the input, then money was the input, then whether it's weekend or not. Yeah, so what we'll do is that we'll weight weather more based on our needs. Yeah, so whether will give more weight to money, that we will emphasize more on money, that whether we'll have money, so W2 will be having more weight, or W2 will be greater than W1, for example, say. So, and also we have, so this scientist also proposed the algorithm to learn this weight. So what is learning now? So every time we say that we'll train the neural network, it will train and it will learn. So learning is nothing but we have to learn this parameters W1, W2. So in MP neuron, what we have to learn, just to compare, we have to learn the threshold, the theta. Yeah, that we don't have to learn, but actually we have to decide based on our problem, that whether we are implementing AND gate, OR gate, and any other decision making task. Yeah, so there the parameter was theta that we have to decide, the threshold in short we can say. But here what we want is weights, and we'll have the algorithm to learn this weights, that what's the optimal weight. So what I'll try is to again show this geometrically, that how weights are changing and how based on that we can implement our models. So again we'll try to have logic gates, AND gate, OR gate, but now we'll try to have with perceptron. Okay, and we'll see what flexibility that we are getting as compared to MP neuron. Yeah, so and what about nonlinear functions? So I won't answer right now this thing, but I'll say that I'll explain it thoroughly, that whether they are able to solve this nonlinearity that we need. Yeah, so it was, even though it was given by Frank, but it was little bit modified and showed like this in this paper in 1969 by these two people, Minsky and Papert. So now here you can see that other than input, weighted sum, this is some threshold, step function nothing but threshold. Okay, that if my input is greater than some threshold, I'll give output as 1. Yeah, so this is a weighted sum. Now you can see there is something here apart from inputs are just here, you can see, but there is something here, and this is called bias. So I'm just giving the brief thing, what is bias, we'll discuss everything. Yeah, why is the need of bias and everything. So I hope you enjoyed the video, so stay tuned and we'll see each other from continuation of this video in next lecture. Thank you.